Although it sounds great to be a Sigma, it's not always easy. Most of them are not your average Joe, and they run into many problems associated with their special gifts. They're usually the ones who are misunderstood because they think and act differently than the majority. If you can relate to any of the following struggles, chances are you're a Sigma. 1. Turning your ideas into reality. For Sigma males, it's an exciting mental exercise to think of new ideas. But in reality, implementing those ideas is a lot harder. This is because they often spend so much time in their heads instead of taking action. They prefer to spend their time contemplating, and when they do take action, they want it to be calculated and aligned with their ideals. On top of this, many ideas can be removed from reality because they are abstract. So in the end, many Sigma males have a lot of ideas that sit there collecting dust, not serving a practical purpose. To achieve this, they need to focus on the small steps that will help them achieve their vision, rather than always focusing on the big picture. While this is a gift in some ways, it can also be seen as a curse. It's a gift because they constantly think of new and innovative ways to improve things. But it's a curse because they often get stuck in their own heads, and their ideas never see the light of day. Many times, the biggest problem for a Sigma is not having enough time to implement all of his great ideas. 2. Your intelligence scares people off. This is a common problem for Sigmas. It gets tiring when you're constantly having to explain things to people or dumb down your conversation. You start to feel like you're not being yourself, and you can't help but wonder if anyone could ever really understand you. As a Sigma, you might have noticed that some people tend to shy away from you when they realize how smart you are. This is because they feel intimidated by your intelligence. They may feel like they can't keep up with you or are used to being the smartest person in the room. But the truth is, your intelligence is one of your greatest assets. It allows you to see things from a different perspective and find solutions to problems that others can't. There are people out there who will appreciate your intelligence and will be excited to learn from you. You just have to find them. Your rational and clear-minded thinking is also what allows you to see through other people's BS. You can quickly spot when someone is lying or being dishonest. This can make people uneasy, as they feel like they can't get away with anything around you. While this ability is great in some situations, it can also be a curse. You may find yourself being skeptical of people and their actions. You might also have a hard time trusting people, as you're always looking for ulterior motives. 3. People are constantly trying to take advantage of your silence. Because Sigma males are often quiet and introspective, people tend to take advantage of their silence. They may think that Sigma is shy or weak, making them an easy target for manipulators. What many people don't realize is that Sigma man is quiet because he's constantly observing and processing information. He's always thinking, even when he's silent. While this quiet nature may make him seem easy to take advantage of, it's actually quite the opposite. When Sigma spots this behavior, he'll usually distance himself from the person or situation. He often won't bother to confront the person because he knows it's not worth his time and energy. Although Sigma males may not be the most outgoing, they're usually very observant and can see through people easily. Dealing with these types of people can be frustrating for Sigmas, as they can read them like an open book. Being silent doesn't make you weak. It just means you have a strong internal world that not everyone can understand. 4. Alpha male is constantly trying to bring you down. Many alphas see Sigma males as a threat because they don't play by the same rules. They don't seek validation or approval from anyone, which makes them a force to be reckoned with. Alphas often try to bring Sigmas down in an attempt to feel better about themselves. While the alpha male is the leader of the pack, the Sigma male chooses to live outside the pack. This can often be seen as a threat to the alpha, who feels like he needs to prove his dominance. However, Sigma men couldn't care less about what the alpha thinks of them. The problem is that many beta males would choose to follow the sigma's way, as they realize that the sigma is not afraid to break away from the status quo. The alpha's need to feel in control is becoming a weakness in the modern world, as more and more people choose to live their lives on their own terms. This power dynamic can often lead to hate and resentment from the alpha towards sigma. Alphas will go out of their way to try to bring sigma males down, but this only makes them look foolish in the process. Sigmas don't need validation from anyone, which is something that alphas can never understand. This is what ultimately makes sigma males so dangerous to the alpha male ego. 5. You have a hard time finding friends who understand you. Sigma males often feel out of this world because they struggle to find people who truly get them. They crave deep, meaningful, and engaging conversations that are hard to come by, especially in this materialistic and superficial world. And because they don't socialize as frequently as their extroverted counterparts, they probably won't go out of their way to find the right connections. Unlike many people, they probably don't make connections by going to bars, clubs, and parties. Sigma men have their own unique way of finding friends, such as joining a Facebook group or becoming a member of a book club or meetup group, where they can find like-minded individuals in a more private setting. Of course, this doesn't mean that Sigma males are loners, but they do prefer to socialize in smaller groups or one-on-one, rather than in large crowds. This is because they hate small talk or any conversation that feels superficial. They also need their alone time in order to recharge their batteries. They often feel drained after a long day of socializing, which is why they need time to themselves. 6. Finding stimulating work. It's hard for a Sigma male to find work that's fulfilling. They want to be mentally stimulated and intellectually challenged, so they constantly learn and grow. Repetitive tasks that serve little purpose, like filling out reports or answering emails, stifle them. Sigmas crave work that creates a profound sense of meaning and freedom, where they have the autonomy to implement their own ideas. They often end up starting their own businesses or becoming freelancers to have the flexibility to work on what they want. While there are not many jobs out there that perfectly match Sigma's needs, they struggle to find positions that are a close fit. This isn't to say that all jobs for Sigma males are terrible, but they often have to make sacrifices to find something that doesn't completely bore them. While this isn't easy, it's important for Sigmas to find a career that they're passionate about. Otherwise, they'll end up feeling unfulfilled and frustrated. 7. Society shames your uniqueness and views it as a negative. Sigma males are often described as loners or even outcasts. They don't fit into the traditional mold of what a man is supposed to be and don't care about conforming to society's expectations. This non-conformity is often seen as a negative trait, when in reality it's one of Sigma's most positive qualities. It allows them to be themselves without worrying about what other people think. They know they're different and are okay with that. People describe Sigma as the lone wolf of society, but this doesn't bother him. He's the type of person who goes his own way and does things his own way. While this independent nature may not be for everyone, it suits Sigma just fine. They don't care about status or power, which alpha males often seek in order to feel validated. While society tries to shame their uniqueness and keep them in a box with the masses, Sigma males refuse to conform. This often puts them at odds with their superiors and those in positions of authority. While this is often hard to deal with, it's something that Sigma men have to accept as part of their unique nature. They would rather be true to themselves than adopt a herd mentality just to fit in. 8. Overanalyzing things. Instead of taking things at face value, many Sigma males analyze everything. This can make their brains run on overdrive, and in the end, they usually don't even get the results they were hoping for. Whether they're obsessively analyzing a social interaction or trying to rationalize their panicked thoughts, this analysis can prevent them from doing anything constructive. They can process lots of information with depth, but this also means they're more prone to experiencing mental overload than others. When this happens, they need to give themselves a break and distance themselves from their thoughts by doing something more physical and grounded. Trying to work out at the gym, going on a walk, or even just cleaning their desk can help them clear their head and come back to the situation with a fresh perspective. Another way to prevent themselves from overthinking is to evaluate whether or not the thing they're worrying about really matters in the grand scheme of things. 9. You're always being underestimated. Sigma males are not the typical alpha male. They're usually not the loudest or most outgoing person in the room, making them easy to underestimate. People often think that because Sigmas are quiet, they're not as strong or confident as other men. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, Sigma men are very confident in themselves and their abilities. They are so confident that they have nothing to prove to anyone. While being underestimated can be frustrating, they usually use it to their advantage. They know that people will underestimate them, so they use it as a way to stay one step ahead. This allows them to take risks and make bold moves without worrying about what other people think. It also gives them the element of surprise, which is always a nice bonus. While Sigmas are not aggressive or pushy, they will stand their ground when necessary. They have strong convictions and are not afraid to voice their opinions. However, they usually only assert themselves when it's absolutely necessary. They would rather stay out of the spotlight and avoid conflict whenever possible. 10. Not living in the moment. Sigma males may get so lost in their thoughts that they forget to come back to earth. Sometimes they're so focused on the past or the future that they miss out on what's happening right in front of them. While it's important to reflect on the past and plan for the future, Sigma males need to make sure they're not dwelling on either one too much. Otherwise, they'll end up living in their heads and forgetting to live in the present. To prevent this from happening, they should try to be more aware of their thoughts and focus on the here and now. This is because their mind is always racing, making it hard for them to stay in the moment. While it may be difficult, it's important for them to find a balance between reflection and living in the moment. 11. You have a hard time finding a partner who is your equal. Because of their high standards and independent nature, Sigma males often have difficulty finding a partner who is their equal. They're not interested in dating someone they can control or who will conform to their every whim. They want someone with their own independent streak who can challenge them and keep them on their toes. While this can be a difficult quality to find in a partner, it's worth the wait. A relationship with a Sigma male is not for the faint of heart. They will push her to be her best self and challenge her in ways she never thought possible. It's like they always say, the best relationships are the ones where you grow together. Sigma males are mysterious individuals, but there is more to them than meets the eye. Once she can break through Sigma's cold exterior, she'll find a warm and compassionate partner who is more than worth the effort.